Hello, welcome back to another motorsport video, or sim racing video I should say. But today we're doing a new concept, for me at least, called reaction videos. And as you may have read on the title, yesterday a certain tech YouTuber called Linus Tech made a video with him and one of his co-workers, I believe called Jake. They made a video on making the ultimate racing setup. So, as a sim racer myself, and one who knows quite a lot about technology, because also that's what I'm studying currently, I thought it was a good idea for me to react to it. And if you have any other videos you want me to react to, or any other concepts, comment them down below. But now, let's go to the video.
Motor, these are the pedals, that's the handbrake. This is a part of a wheel?
What do you mean a wheel? The wheel's here.
No, well...
Why do we need 4 steering wheels?
Why not? And you've got your $10,000 sim setup, and you've got your $3,000 monitors.
Of course, the whole...
Okay, so before he gets into the sponsorship, we are just going to talk about what we could see. So, when from going after all of this...
Stuck in the ground somehow. Well, that's our shifter.
So, from what we can see here, yes, we have a shifter here. We have Husing Veld, if you don't know, very high-end pedals. These I didn't hear what he said. So he has a wheel rim here, so it looks like he has, the Podium hub. Then he also has a certain direct drive, Podium butt endurance module. Then he has probably the pedal module, WRC wheel. He has the McLaren GT3 V2 and Clubsport quick release.
And you've got...
And he also has this motion, which is called D-Box. And I believe if you're from Europe, you will know what I'm talking about with the value of it. It's around 6,000 euros, 6,700 euros, I believe, a bit more than maybe like 7,300 American dollars. Probably closer to 9 if you're Canadian, like Linus. And as you see here, it's the FIA official licensed product. And if you don't know what the FIA is, it's those who control all motorsports in, I believe it's the world, but they're based in France. And I believe American have like an equivalent, which could be like a sub company. But now we know what we have in store for products. Let's see what they do when assembling it.
So you already...
From what we can see here also, he has a SimLab chair, and this, so if he's making the ultimate, it's probably a P1X. And as you can see from here, I have made mine a little bit higher, still use the Playseat seat, but I'm also using a SimLab cockpit, but I'm not going to be biased in any sort of way, because I just got this, feels quite nice, but let's go back to the video. Yeah, as I said, it's a SimLab P1X, so I was correct there. I believe that's about 700-800 euros, around 1,000 American, maybe around like 1,300 Canadian. And I'm not looking forward to this because, as you can see here, he's using the GT World Challenge version of the Podium wheel.
This is the motor for the wheel?
Okay, so they're having a DD2, which is a 25 Newton meter, I believe. What's it called? Direct drive wheel, which means it's the wheel is directly connected to the motor, which means ultimate clarity and quality in the force feedback, which is very good. But I'm going to put my comments on if this is actually the ultimate at the end.
Roughly equivalent to a real F1 car.
It's got a cooling fan.
He's correct about being roughly, but you can't fully imitate the force feedback with a wheelbase. Because, yes, Formula 1 wheels, they have power steering, but as I've learned, that power steering doesn't mean it's automatically like soft or anything. It's just highly likely you feel less. So that could be that, but you won't feel the forces of crashing, of Robert Kubica's crash in 2007, I believe it was. I'm going to link it down here, but you won't feel that amount of force, but you can still break your hand from using this. Just watch Coyote Racing's video on 100%, and Jimmy Broadbent, I believe, also did one, but he didn't break his hand.
Wow! Whoa, this is so much nicer than like...
Yeah, as I said, the GT World Challenge, because as you may know, if you know a lot about sim racing, the Assetto Corsa Competizione eSport series, they run it, which is called the GT World Challenge, and there they were using this wheel, and Fanatec, who are the supplier of the series, said, oh, let's release it to the public. The only thing is, they have a bundle which isn't compatible. No, they don't have an Xbox compatible bundle, which is just with this wheel. It's round, more versatile than one with a flat end, as you can see on this wheel.
A BMW wheel. I took it home.
Is this actually...
So if you don't know what he's talking about, I'm going to put up a picture here, but Fanatec released a BMW wheel which costs 1,400 euros, about, I would say, 2,000 Canadian, maybe like 1,700 American, and it's used in the actual race car, which is also in Assetto Corsa Competizione. So if Fanatec watch, if you send it to me, I will review it once I get my CSL DD. And Jake, I know, also likes sim racing, so I'm happy for him. And this is what actually I'm going to get, this Porsche button, endurance button module called, but it's designed based on the Porsche one, which is really interesting.
Look at this thing.
Oh, so they got the 1.5, which is basically the same, I believe. I don't fully know the difference. Maybe if they take this up, I may show you, but this will be released in January, so they have been sent these products by Fanatec. So Jake, because he knows his things, I know, he probably talked to them and got these products, which is quite nice because it's quite good having non-sim racing YouTubers with a lot of subscribers. I believe he has like around 10 million or more. Really good to have because it spreads sim racing, and when Fanatec and other companies get more money, the car companies, motorsport companies, will say, oh, this is interesting. They are really good at making these products because a lot of people use them, which means that we, as the consumers, will get more real-life steering wheels which are used in real cars, is what I'm trying to say. So, while talking about what he said here,
Okay.
if we just listen,
100 steering wheels.
I wouldn't say that Fanatec have 100 steering wheels, but because the Podium button module has, I believe, 3 different screw patterns, means that you can add basically a ton of third-party wheels, such as OMP, Sparco, Turn Racing, and you can also buy these. Let's say I'm really interested in Gomez Sim Industries. If you buy their wheel, because they don't make any wheelbases or anything, you can screw it on the Podium button module, and you will have force feedback, which is really good. And you can access the Fanalab, and I believe you can also access the other features which come with Fanatec. So it's really interesting, and to correct Linus. Something which they haven't taken up, but when they were testing the shifters here around,
So just keep going.
when here, why? Oh, that's a cursed screen pause, but why it feels so nice is because they're using magnets. I don't, maybe rare earth magnets, I'm not fully sure, but they're using magnets, which means that you will really feel when you're doing a shift, and it gives that distinct noise. But what cheaper wheels use, for example, this what I'm using here, uses springs. So as you can hear, it has distinct plasticky noise because it's hitting a barrier instead of this where you do that motion. So yeah, it's a different noise, and this is much better quality. Disclaimer, he didn't take it up here, but what he was doing when putting on the quick release is something you should really look at when mounting on a wheel, because here is where basically where he's putting it is a cap. And if you take it off and put this on, in a bad way, you can break the whole steering wheel, which means you have to replace the whole thing. And that's not what you want to do. So if you're buying a Fanatec wheel, read the manual. I know tech YouTubers like Linus Tech Tips doesn't do it so much, but when fiddling with these things, which is you or him are not experienced with, you should read the manual and really focus on not doing the incorrect thing and breaking everything. When he's saying with compatibility, if they got everything sent by Fanatec, everything is compatible, and he's trying to see if it's compatible with this, but with the endurance button box or button module, what you now say, with the pedals, but the pedals actually clamp into this, the Podium Universal Hub, the Podium Hub. So, as Jake says,
No, they definitely are. Have you considered the fact that it could just be user error? What do you
it's probably user error, because if you don't read the manual, you will make mistakes. And now they're coming to the pedals, which is like one of the most interesting parts, in my opinion, about the sim rig, because these are Husing belt pedals. Don't fully remember where they're based. I'm not going to comment, but it's somewhere in Central Europe, I believe. And as you may see, I believe this is the gas, this is the clutch, and here is the brake. And what technology they're using is load cell, which means that when it doesn't detect movement, let's say, it detects pressure. So, and different load cells have different amount of pressure they can sense, like for percentage, like the difference between 0 and the max. And larger the max is, the more range. And what the CSL pedals have, which are one of the cheapest load cell, they have around a 60 kilogram load cell. The older version has 90. I believe these have 200 kilogram. And if I remember correctly, maybe not Verstappen uses these exact, but Verstappen uses similar ones, which can actually which he actually used for after the British Grand Prix crash to get up to speed easier with the brake pedal feel in his Red Bull. So really interesting choice, and these are what I would also choose for the ultimate sim racing setup.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Like, even amongst all these other crazy bits of kit, these look nuts.
Definitely gnarly.
Found it.
So it's in the thing that I said it was in.
You didn't say it was in there. You said it
I
was
said
in
it
this
was either
thing.
in this thing or this thing.
All right, cool. Well, that wasn't too
You shouldn't have this hanging by a cable, because as he should know, hanging things by the cable isn't the best for durability. So I would, if you did the same mistake, unplug it and unplug things if they're hanging by cables, if they're hanging. And what he has here is the debug system, and what they are is, if I remember correctly, they're hydraulic hydraulic pressure. So it can sense in the game, like if you're moving up, down, left to right. And what's so good about these are you can actually feel what the car is doing. And these are also FIA approved, as I said. But what they should do if they want to make ultimate, as if they listen to maybe Boosted Media's video on it, it should actually be 1-to-1, like because you have 4, all of the 4 should be equal distance from each other, sort of. So it should be like in a cube, which means that if they want to make ultimate, they should do that, but sometimes you don't have the option. And here you have the final setup. And yeah, there's testing, but here you have the final setup. And if you want to watch them test it, you press the link below. But what are my comments on this? Well, it's a really sweet setup. I know what they're coming on with having Fanatec and things, but I would say this is like top of the line, sort of. It's quite high up, but as everything can improve. So if you want to wonder what my ultimate setup would be, I would switch out the Fanatec products, put in a Simicube 2 Ultimate Wheelbase, which has around 32 Newton meters and is the best, I believe. Then I would buy, I don't fully remember, but I believe they're called like GTX or something, the steering wheels Jon Opmeer uses, which is a Formula style wheel, which is really expensive and everything. And I would switch out the chair from a Synlab chair to a Sparco chair to make it more race car-like. And I would switch out another few things. So if, I don't think they are, but if Linus Tech Tips are watching this, reach out to me on my Instagram with the same name as my YouTube channel, Racing Legend 1234, and I will give you a few tips on how you can make this the ultimate if you want to for a video, or if you just want a few recommendations on some things, I would say you can change. And as I said at the start, comment down below any videos you want me to react to, any ideas, and if you really still watching, please hit the subscribe button, that really helps. But until the next video, I've been Racing Legend, you've been my amazing viewers, thank you for watching, goodbye.